Okay, starting now. And we'll continue doing the exact same thing. I want you to have a copy of this and then compare it to yourself in 6 months or 2 months. Of course, that will be after the test. I just want you to know that you have improved over time. And also, listening to yourself helps you understand some of the things that you're doing that you may not be aware of while you are speaking. Personally, I hate hearing myself speak and watching myself, and I don't think anyone likes it, but it helps a lot with tests like this. So just choose a number between between 4 and 28.
Yeah. Anything, I think.
Okay, let's go with this one, right before the ride sharing one. Okay, you have some time to read the passage. You should ignore some of the detailed information in the reading. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's begin.
Now listen to two students discussing the article.
Hey, it's nice that they're going to do this.
It's not a bad idea, but do you think it will accomplish what they're hoping?
Sure. I mean, the dormitories all have their own lounges, and think about how much time students spend there and how many people they meet.
Yeah, I got to know a lot of people in my dorm during my first semester, just watching TV and taking study breaks in the lounge.
Right. Those dorm lounges are really central to student life, and I met people there that really helped me with my schoolwork, too. Students who live off campus don't have anything like that.
That's true.
Plus, I like the idea of posting stuff. You know, things like notices from students who want to get together with other students to share car rides to campus.
Yeah, rideshare information could be helpful.
Absolutely. If students knew about ride shares, they could save money getting to campus because a few of them could travel in one car.
You have some time to prepare your answer. Okay, you can start now.
The writer says that there should be a lounge for a student who live off campus. The lounge is a good place for because it's very comfy and student can socialize, and also they can share information with bulletin board in the lounge. And
okay, move on to the student.
the speaker says that she also likes about the suggestions, and also student can socialize, and they also can do ride share with other students.
Okay, so tell me what you have in your notes. So from the writer's position, what have you written?
Lounge is comfortable and socialize.
Okay.
Bulletin board.
Also, when you say comfortable, you can include some examples if you want. You don't have to, but you can say it's comfortable. It has couches, TV, and also it's a good place to talk to others. These are the things that make it comfortable. Because it has couches and TV and other people, it's comfortable. And the bulletin board was useful for what? Sharing information. Now, because it's an agreement type of answer, the speaker is just going to add to whatever point was brought up earlier. So she said, yeah, it's a good place to socialize, but then she added something to it. This is similar to writing task 2 that you have now, the academic discussion. So your job in the writing task 2 is not only to summarize the other two students' position, but also to add something from yourself. So she agreed that it's a good place to socialize, but also she mentioned something else. What was it? I think you missed that one. It was help from other students. So she said, yeah, when I was there, when I used the lounges, I don't really remember exactly if she used the same lounge or a different university. You don't need to just worry about that. Just say she thinks it's a good idea. Personally, she has been in some lounges and she remembers that she could meet new friends, just talk to people and have a good time. But also, she mentions that she could get help from other students regarding homework or some projects and research that she was doing. Also, then make sure the points are separated. Don't mention the ride sharing as a part of this. Now, what's the issue with just saying ride sharing? You said she thinks it's a good idea because students can ride share if there is a lounge. What is the problem with that?
So they can share information such as ride sharing.
Very nice. So the ride sharing is an example of notices or having a notice board or a bulletin board. So it's not just ride sharing because, we just did another exercise for the ride sharing thing. And that was exactly just ride sharing. But this time it's not about ride sharing. It's just an example of how you can share information. Now, let's say in the test, you don't really remember the example about ride share. You have the reading in front of you, but let's say you don't remember. You can just say, find a roommate. I think she actually mentioned that as well. I don't remember 100%, but to share car rides on campus, okay. Also, that's the part where she said it really helped with schoolwork. And if ride shares, you could save money. Okay, so she didn't say anything about finding roommates, but that could be another example. Or just find a missing cat, or I don't know, whatever it is. Just give an example of how a bulletin board can be useful. Or find information about local events, or gatherings, or concerts, or plays that the students are doing. Or, I don't know, like soccer practice. You do soccer practice, students do it as well. And on the bulletin board, you may find information about it. If you don't remember the example, you can use whatever. This part of it is not as important as the main thing, which is they can use it to share information. So before you mention the ride sharing, you have to mention that they can actually share information using a board that everyone sees as soon as they walk into that room. Let's do one more. I'm quite happy with the answer. Oh, God damn it. Welcome. It helps with the YouTube views, but it's very annoying, even for myself. So just choose anything from 21 to 24. You don't have to think that much, just pick a number. 21 to 24. Based on pictures, you can
24.
24. Let students audit classes. Okay. Just a heads up. You can say something else instead of audit classes. You can make it easy. Let's read it.
Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
Did you see this letter, Molly?
Yeah, but I don't agree with him.
Why not?
Well, it might have some educational benefit for the people doing it, but overall, for the other students who are actually taking the classes, it wouldn't be good.
How come?
Because anyone who is taking the class for a grade, for credit, puts in a lot of time preparing for it, doing the reading and assignments, whereas people who aren't, they might not be as well prepared, and that would affect the quality of the class discussion.
You mean the discussions wouldn't be at a very high level?
Right. Because people who aren't taking the class for a grade would be asking really basic questions. They'll be slowing down the class discussion by taking time to discuss basic stuff that was already covered in the reading assignments.
That's a good point. I can see how that might happen.
Plus, he's wrong about the work it requires for the professor.
But it's true the professor doesn't have to grade anything.
Sure, but there are lots of other little things that can add up to more work. Like they'd have to prepare extra handouts for the class, learn extra names, and, well, possibly stay after class to answer those students' questions.
Yeah, I guess that's all extra work.
Absolutely. All these little things add up and require the professor's attention.
Okay, you have some time to prepare your answer. Okay, you can begin now.
The writer says that so students should audit the classes. It will help the student to explore new topics, and I forgot the next point.
Okay, go on.
Next one.
The student?
Yeah, the students disagree about the policy because disagree with the policy, and if they apply the policy, the class will not be the high level, and there's a lot of work to do, so it could it's not beneficial.
Okay, so remember what I said about guessing the other side's position?
Yeah.
So again, this time you have, it's interesting because usually the students don't get the points from the speaker, but they get the points from the writer. But you are doing the opposite, which is again good news because it's hard to actually listen to this conversation and get all the points out correctly. And you did it. So the first point, as you said, was it lowers the level of the class. And you also got the correct point for the first thing that the writer mentioned. You said it's good to actually learn new stuff about different topics and interests and find out if they want to study that thing in the future or not. They can just try new things, which is actually the whole reason behind colleges. We should be able to go and just study new things and see if we like it or not. So they can also, instead of audit, you could just say watch. Just go to classes as visitors or tourists, whatever you want to call it. Just be able to tour different classes or participate without being a real student. So you don't have to use the same word. Just say go to classes without really studying that thing. And your point was 100% correct. It's about learning new stuff and that they may be interested in the future. And then she said, actually, that lowers the level of the class. And it's not good because they keep distracting the other students. They are not asking in-depth questions. They don't really know much about the topic. So the conversations will not be as good as if it was just the students who know the topic. So that's the first point. The second point, you actually got it correctly for the speaker. You could just reverse it for the writer. So what was your second point for the speaker?
They're more like extra work for the auditors.
But for the writer, you never said that a problem. Actually, you forgot the point from the reading. And that's where I just asked you to move on. But if you had the point for extra work from the speaker side, you could just say no extra work.
No extra work.
That's exactly what this said. So it said, to summarize it, many students are allowed to audit classes. And because the test thinks that you may not be familiar with the word audit, or just what do we mean by audit? That is, meaning what I mean is, attend lectures and participate in discussions without actually taking that lesson or get credit for it. Now, the reasons. It would give curious students a chance to learn about new topics and explore different subjects that they are not really studying. It's not their main field of study, but they can just try new things. That's number one. And two, since auditors wouldn't, this time we didn't have something like additionally and also or furthermore, but the sentence is finished. Now this sentence is just talking about advantage number two. Since auditors wouldn't be turning in papers or taking tests, this wouldn't create any extra work for the professors. That's the second point. No extra work. So this is how I summarize it. It's good for the students. And two, you could say it's good for the professors, but the reading didn't say it's good for the professors. It just said it's not bad for the professors. It's kind of the same thing. And then reasons for each one. Why is it good for students? Because they can learn new stuff. And why is it not bad for the professors? Because they won't have to do anything extra. Now, the other side shows up and says the exact opposite. So it says bad for the students and bad for the professors. At the most general level, this is how you can think about it. Watching classes. Writer says good for the students and good for the professors. Speaker says bad for the students and bad for the professors. Now, why is it bad for the students? You said it correctly. Lowers the standard. It's distracting. And they don't really know much, so they are just asking random questions. And so it's less serious for the students who want to actually focus. And bad for the professors because they have to prepare materials and worksheets and handouts and all that. They also have to spend more time answering questions. So it's overall extra work. Again, if you have one side, turn it around and make it the opposite for the other side. So let's do one more. Again, God damn it. I'll just do this. So pick a number between 20. We have done some of these. We have done this one and this one. Bike sharing. Similar to ride sharing, but less effective. Now let's see. You have some time to read this. Okay, let's begin.
Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
Hey, did you read that letter? What do you think?
Yeah, I read it. I understand what she's saying, but I really don't agree with her suggestions.
How come?
Well, students often need to borrow the bikes for longer periods of time, sometimes a whole day.
What for?
Well, like to do stuff off campus. For instance, my friends and I, on the weekends, sometimes we like to ride bikes to the state park outside of town and do some hiking there. And it basically takes the whole day. It's nighttime by the time we get back.
So if you had less time, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Right. And also, her other suggestion doesn't seem practical to me.
The card thing?
Yeah, that's not going to work. What if you want to enter a campus building? Even though you can get into most of the classroom buildings without a card, there are certain buildings on campus where you need to show your card to get in, like the library and dining hall.
Yeah, that's true. So students wouldn't be able to go to any of those places till they got their cards back.
You have some time to prepare your answer. Also, focus less on writing. It seems like from what I hear, the pencil, you are writing more than the time you spend actually thinking about it. It's not that complicated. Just have the main points written. Probably just like 10, 15, 20 words is going to be enough. So don't worry too much about the writing part. Just prepare just organize everything. So I will say, the writer wants to do this because of A and B, and the student disagrees because of A and B. So let's see. Let's begin.
The writer says that the bike loans system, a bike loan program, should be improved. First, the student needs more hours to borrow the bike.
You are talking about the writer. Don't worry about it. Start from the beginning.
Okay.
Because it's important, because now you cannot go to the speaker side, because speaker actually wants more than 4 hours. So first the writer should say maximum 4 hours. Then the speaker says, actually, we needed more than 4 hours. Go on. Start again.
Okay. The writer says that the bike loan program should be improved. And first, it should be limited 4 hours. And
why?
Because students use that much. Student don't use that much. The more bikes are available.
Basically, look, think about it realistically. You're in a university and every student is taking a bike for 1 week. Then after 100 students take them, or let's say, I don't know how many bikes are there. There are 20. 20 students take 20 bikes, then there is nothing left. By limiting the hours, we are making sure that everyone gets access to the bikes. So it's important that you actually realize the reasoning, the logic behind it. Why should we limit it? Every time you have a point like this, okay, let's limit the loan to 4 hours. Immediately in your head, you should be thinking, why? Why is that important? How does that make things better? Because the whole point is to improve the bike sharing program. But limiting the hours doesn't seem like an improvement until you say, well, by limiting it, we'll make sure that everyone gets access to the bikes. So that's one thing. And also the second point of the reading, what was it?
Instead of deposit money, student ID card.
Why?
Because
like, what's the benefit of being able to use your ID instead of money?
Don't need to bring the cash.
Yeah. Or it's not that you don't need to bring the cash. It's even if you don't have the cash at that moment, you can still get the bike and pay later. So you don't have to worry about it. So you can say, even if you forget your wallet at home, even if you don't have any cash on you at that moment, you can take the bike and then pay for it later. Okay, now you know the side of the reading. Even if you don't listen again, you should be able to come up with something for the speaker. Okay, let's start again.
Okay, the writer says that the bike loan program should be improved. First, it should be limited 4 hours to have more bike available. And second, instead of deposit money, it should be it could be used for student ID card. Because students not carrying cash. The speaker disagree with it because sometimes students need to use bike for a long time, such as hiking, and some buildings require student ID card to enter.
So if
there's no card, student can
How does this connect to the point of the writer? Like, why is it important that some buildings need your ID card if you want to enter them?
If there's no card, student can enter the.
Okay, but you have to somehow connect it. So if your ID is at the gym with the bike people. So if you give your ID to the gym for the bike, then you cannot go and do other things on campus. So it's not a good idea to just give them your ID and then go away. So, okay. Now, you spent a lot of time, way too much time, on the writing side. Now, instead of doing that, basically, you went like 40 seconds for the writer and 20 seconds. Actually, you did a lot more. But if I wanted to give it a percentage, it was like 60-70% of your time was the writer, and then 30% was the speaker. Let's do it the opposite way. Give a very short summary of the writer's position, and then spend more time on the speaker. The test actually wants you to spend a little more time on the lecturer, both for this task and also for the writing task 1, where you have the passage and the speaker. Most of your focus is supposed to be on the speaker's side, because the test already gives you the reading, so it's in front of you. They don't expect you to just say the whole thing again. They are testing you for this part. So, let's do it again. This time, give me a much shorter introduction for the writer, and then spend more time explaining the speaker's position. For example, don't just mention hiking as an example as one word and move on. The student actually spent some time explaining, like, sometimes we go out, and sometimes we go downtown, sometimes we go hiking, and then we stay overnight, which means we cannot actually, or we come back at night, and that means we need a lot more than 4 hours. Spend more time on the speaker's side. Start again. Don't worry about time. I'll cover the time. Just you go on.
Okay. The writer says that the bike loan system should be improved. First, they should limit the hours to more students. The more students can use. And second, instead of deposit money, they could use their student ID card.
Very good. Okay, this was a much shorter and much more concise introduction for the answer. I like it. So my way of saying it would be, it was perfect almost for me. Of course, there were pauses and everything, but the content of it was perfect. The writer is making some suggestions to make the bike sharing program better. First, they think we should limit the number of hours that students can use the bikes. This way, we can make sure everyone has access to bikes at all times. And also, sometimes students don't have cash, so the writer thinks they should be allowed to use their ID as collateral, or just they should be able to give their ID and then come back later and pay. Go on to the other side. However, the student... Sorry, my bad. Instead of student, you can say speaker, because they are both students.
Oh, okay. The speaker disagree with it?
Disagrees also, because student is one, he or she. Okay. Or you can say both students, but we don't really care about one side in this conversation. One side is just there to make the conversation flow. So the student disagrees with
this suggestion. Like sometimes students use bike for a long time. They have to go downtown, or they go to hiking, and
4 hours will not be.
And 4 hours will not be enough time.
Very good.
For some students, and students also need their ID card when they enter some of the buildings.
So if
there's no card, they cannot come into the buildings.
Very nice. So, and again, you could just mention that was a good answer. Only thing I would add is, so if they give their cards to the bike center, whatever you want to call it, so if their ID is not with them, they are not going to be able to enter those buildings. And again, I didn't mention the bike. If their ID is not with them because they gave it to get the bike, they will not be able to enter some buildings. Much better. Let's do one more. I don't have a student until 1, so I want to make sure that we are 100% with this. And we are close. Let's go with an easy one. Also, are you old enough to remember these phones?
What is it?
These type of phones. Have you ever seen them?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, good. So, now I don't feel too old. Let's see. Removing dorm room phones. You have some time. Begin.
Okay.
Just because I know you and I know you will use the word eliminated, let me tell you, you don't need to use that word. Just say, no more. No more phones. Go on.
Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
Hey, Jimmy, did you read this?
I did, yeah. What do you think about it?
I don't know. I don't think it'd be a very good idea.
Oh, yeah? But it's true that a lot of us have our own phones.
Yeah, but it's good to have both. The service we get with our own phones isn't always reliable. Maybe it's because there are a lot of hills around here, but my service doesn't work that well in this area. A lot of times calls get cut off or the reception isn't good. I can't hear the person on the other line.
Yeah, I've had some friends say that too, actually.
So it's good to have a backup option, something we can use if our own phones aren't working.
I see what you mean. But when you think of the money...
Well, I don't buy his argument there either. Because I don't know if you've noticed this on the housing bill we get from the university, but right now we only pay per call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you don't make many calls, you don't pay much. I mean, if you use it a lot, of course you'll pay more. But students can avoid that if they just avoid using it as much as possible.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I think they should just keep it the way it is now.
You have some time to prepare. Okay, you can begin now.
Okay, the writer says that the phones in dorms should be removed because all students have their own phone, and by removing the phone, the student can save money.
Perfect.
The woman in the conversation disagree with it. Sometimes the individual phones is not reliable. Sometimes the phone are cut off and
the quality is not good.
Quality is not good, and the dorm phone is we pay dorm phone per call. So if we don't use much, we don't pay a lot.
Or at all. Very nice. Very good. That's it. That was perfect. So this would be my answer as well. Everything that you mentioned. The student believes, or the writer believes, that there shouldn't be landlines or phones in dorm rooms because everyone has cell phones now. So no one really uses those old phones anyway. And also, students are now paying a service fee for the phones without even using them. So it doesn't make sense. It could be cheaper if we remove them. The speaker, however, disagrees and says mobile phones are not always reliable. Sometimes you need to have a backup option, especially when there is bad signal or there is some issue with the mobile phones or the quality of the call. Also, she mentions that not all students pay for this because it's a service that you only pay for when you make a call. So if you don't use the phone, you are probably not going to pay for it. Very nice. That was a very good one. And just like the nail in the coffin. Let's do one more because I'm very happy with the progress that we've made today. And I just want to make sure that we have reached the level where you don't need my help anymore for task 2. Next time we are going to task 3. But for now, let's do this one. Okay, you have some time.
Now, listen to 2 students discussing the letter.
Hey, did you see Alexandra's letter?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, it's great. She really makes some good points. Like, the thing with the university bookstore is, if you buy a brand new textbook, it can be pretty expensive, and they usually have only a few used textbooks around. They're cheaper, of course, but they sell out quickly.
That's true.
So this would give students time to look around on their own. You know, maybe they could find the books they need online, get books a few months ahead of time using the internet.
I agree.
So this way, students might be able to save a little money.
Right. So what do you think about her second point, about the reading assignments?
I agree with that too. It just makes a lot of sense. Because things get really busy when the semester first starts, and it can be hard to find time to keep up with all of the assignments. But students usually have some free time right before the start of the semester.
So we'd have a good opportunity to do some preparation.
Exactly.
Okay. You have some time to prepare. Okay, you can begin now.
The writer suggests that textbooks should be available for the students before start of the semester.
Very good.
And
This way?
Yes. This way, students can have time to see other the replace other textbooks, and they have time to prepare to the semester. And
do what for the semester?
Was it?
To do what for the semester? To read the books and prepare. Okay. The speaker.
The speaker agrees with the suggestion because the book student can save money. I don't think it makes sense, but anyway.
Okay, so
okay,
this one is a preparation issue. So tell me what you have for your notes.
Writing the textbooks.
Also, your summary for the decision was correct. Make books available early. That's how I would say it. So you said it correctly. You said the writer thinks the books should be available before the semester. That's very good. And then you said this gives the students more time to, and then you had to have two options. This one you got correctly again. You said read and prepare for the semester. The first one was
find it cheaper, right?
So let's see. This would not only give, so we have both advantages in the same sentence. Not only this, but also that. Would not only give students the opportunity to shop around and find more affordable options, but also allows them to read in advance, making it easier to be ready. So find the best options, let's say. Imagine you are trying to buy a used car. If you only have 5 days, you probably won't find a really, really good option. But if you have a few months, you keep looking around, you look at different places, you try to find better options. And that's what this person is saying. So now, if you are agreeing with it, it should be easy. It's just we are not adding anything. We are just providing more details or personal examples. There are no more advantages. It's the same advantage, we are explaining it. So what do we mean by finding the best option? Well, he said, well, the new ones are expensive. So a lot of people are trying to buy used books. What does that mean? Well, if a lot of people are trying to buy them, then they are really hard to find. So sometimes students may not be able to find one, especially if everyone is trying to get it at the same time or something. So they need time to find a good one. And for the read and prepare, why is it a good idea? That one is easy. Well, because students get very busy during the semester. And if they just start preparing early, they'll have a lot of time to just read the whole thing and know exactly what's going to happen during the lessons. Okay, now that you know what the choices were, start again.
Okay. The writer suggests that a textbook should be available before the semester.
That's it.
Yeah, this will have the student time to find some better options for the textbooks, and students will have time to read and prepare for the semester.
Very nice.
And the speaker agrees with this suggestion because a textbook is very expensive, and
if it is new.
Yeah, if it is new, and buying used one can save money. And also during the semester, students gets really busy, so this will
give them time to
give them time to prepare
in advance. Very nice.
Yes.
With the first point of the speaker, you said new books are expensive and used books are cheap. How does that connect to the idea of making the books available early? Also, it's not just the books, it's the list of books.
List of books.
That's an important part to remember. So the university tells you need book 1, 2, and 3. You have the name of the books. Now you have to go either buy them. Also, that's the part that we had to also... It wasn't completely accurate to say the books. I made the same mistake, but I just wanted to just focus on the whole idea instead of that detail. But that is why your second point from the speaker wasn't completely accurate. It's not the books themselves, it's the list of books. Maybe that's why in the beginning you said it doesn't make sense. The university is not giving you the books, it's giving you a list of books. Now you have to go either buy new ones or buy used ones. Also, that one word in here is what makes it make sense. So, for the speaker, you said, well, new books are expensive, used books are cheaper. But why is that important? How does that connect to the whole idea? Well, cheaper is good. So, but how is that about saving time? Why is it important that... The question is, how does making the list available early help with the price?
Student can have time to find better options.
Better options of the same book, by the way. They are not trying to buy other books. It's the same book that they are looking for, but instead of buying it new...
New one? It's a used one?
Yeah, they want to buy a used one, and they will find more options or better prices if they have time to actually spend some time shopping around. And very nice. I'm quite happy with the final answer. So, now we have had 2 sessions about Speaking Task 2. I think you know exactly what is happening. You know exactly what you should do. All you have to do... you're not going to get feedback without having a teacher, but I'm sure just by practicing it more and more, you are going to realize what the points are. And also, if you make an account on the Chinese website that we use, the Kulearn, these are actually from the same website. I made some changes with ChatGPT to make the text more difficult. Also, don't worry if you didn't get most of the reading passages 100%. I actually asked ChatGPT to use more difficult words and make it a little more challenging. So, but again, that's because your job in the reading passage is to make things easy. Instead of audit, just say watch some of the classes. Instead of improve, for example, accessibility, just say make it easier. Or instead of they are going to initiate a policy that will prohibit the posters, say the university will not let students put posters on the wall. Instead of exterior, just say outside. So your job in the reading passage is also making it a little easier. Because you only have 60 seconds to talk about it. Not 60, you have like 20 seconds to give the intro for the reading. You cannot use all those difficult words and just start. I mean, you could, but why not make it easier? So now you know exactly what to do. Just do more and more. Every time, get the decision, 2 points. Then get the stance of the student, the position, and their 2 points. And on the Chinese website, if you make an account, you'll get sample answers. And they also show a score, 4, 3.5, and so on. It's not completely reliable, but still you get good answers and bad answers. We did that last time. Just after you do your own thing, record yourself if you want, so that you also see the timer and how it goes. Then listen back. Also listen to the other students and then compare it. We have read many examiner notes from the official book. So you know what the book is looking for. And just try to be your own examiner. Listen to it and be like, oh, I missed the first point. This student who got 4 actually mentioned it, but I didn't mention it. So you can compare your own answer to those students as well. Also, as I said, we recorded this session, so I will send you, not the first half, by the way. Yeah, I started recording after 30 minutes. But I'll send it to you so you can actually watch and just pay attention to, I'm sure the second time you watch it, you're like, oh, why didn't I say this? Or why did I do this in here? So it will make it, it's a good learning opportunity to see the things you missed in the video. So, any questions for today?
No, good. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I wish you a good Saturday. Just take some rest, then come back. Also, don't just continue studying. Give yourself a break and then come back after like 30 minutes or something.
Okay.
So, have a good time and have a good football practice today.